All right, everyone. Welcome back to Stacking the Deck. Got a very exciting episode here. Um, we have a special guest from the Artist Appreciation Project, and for those that might not be familiar with it, Hannah's gonna sort of give us the lowdown, a little bit of information on what this new Kickstarter is. Um, Kurt, as far as I understand, you don't know too much about AAP, do you?
I don't. I've seen some of the artwork for it that just kind of floats around in the different channels, the different social media channels, but really I have no idea. So I'm gonna learn today too.
Okay, cool. I'll give my background on it in a bit, but Hannah, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us little bit about who you are, how you got involved with this card world, and what you do for the Artist Appreciation Project.
Well, hey, I'm Hannah. I usually go by my screen name Arts Hannah, which is just my last name. So if you never knew how to pronounce it, it's Arts. So the ZT makes the S sound. But the AAP we're just a group of artists that kind of got together and started making art together in a Discord, which is run by Grimswald, and I kind of help out in there. He nicknamed me the head appreciator, so I kind of keep people happy, and we support each other a lot. And right now, the Kickstarter is just a celebration of everything we've been doing for the past year and a half, or 2 years if people have been there that long. And it's 12 sets that have been created over our Draw Monthly challenges. Really, to describe it, I would say we're a collective of artists. So we get together, support each other, and challenge each other to always be better. So the only way to get better is to make art, because they say if you don't use it, you lose it. So every month there's a crazy prompt, and usually CT Rentco will do this long, fabulous prompt for us. And then we just create, and then the top 10 are chosen as the winners, and then all the cards are printed, and we get a set of our own cards. And I have one right here, the one I recently got back. That's my dog Aria. This one was based on famous artists. It's actually not in the Kickstarter, but I just wanted to show it because it's so cute. I love her. And if I'm an art teacher, so I love Yayoi Kusama, and this is kind of symbolic with her, but surrounded by bones instead of dots.
Oh, that's awesome.
My dog. And I forgot the question now. You'll see that a lot today.
No. You're good. I just was looking for a little background on, with you and the Artist Appreciation Project. For me, I was aware of it. It's been so. For those that don't know, it's been around for a while. I think a couple years now. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Well, if you want to start way at the beginning, the conception of it was during MetaZoo's first fan art contest. So all got together, and it was really just, I was invited by Cisco, and he was like, hey, come in here where we can post our art and discuss it. And that's what we did. So we would help each other to come up with better ideas or pointers. And it's great because if you post your art on Instagram, and then people that aren't artists, they don't understand, especially if it's a sketch or step 2. But if you're a fellow artist, you can kind of visualize and know already what it's going to turn out as. So it's a safe haven. You can chat in there. And then anyone in there that's not an artist is usually a collector or someone that really cares. So it's kind of a safe place. But we did start making a few, we call them red border cards. So they were all based on the original cryptids. And that was a lot of fun.
I was jokingly referring to Artist Appreciation Project as the first mission-based TCG that I've run into. And what I mean by that, so you hear that in the nonprofit world a lot, but what I mean when I say that is, it's not necessarily a game, right? Or it's not a game at all. It's just for collectors and people who enjoy art. and really well done creative stuff. It's not just one kind of art, but it's a variation, right? It's not all the same thing. Um, so I think that's really cool. I think you get a lot of variety. One thing that always stood out to me, I I think Pokemon's great, but the majority of Pokemon people are they never play the game, right? They just they appreciate the art, they like the characters. So I think there's some appeal for that in this regard. Um, one thing that
Exactly.
yeah, one thing that I'm curious about is how is it curated? So I can't imagine it's just like a smattering of just like, oh, I drew this thing and put it on a card now, right? It's like a competition element and then everybody gets on there, or they're official art team members, or what's like, how does
Well,
that work?
anybody can enter. Like if you join the Discord tonight, well, I would say January 1st is when our next contest will be posted. If you join January 1st and you go in there, you can enter the contest right away. So it is, we say a challenge. We don't like the word contest because there are winners, but it's not competitive in that way. So you're mostly competing against yourself. And then also the artwork has to go together. And I like that you use the word curated because our leader, Grimswald, he will put his opinion forward for cards that are going to look well together. And you'll see when you open a pack, even without reading the name, you kind of know where it's going to belong. And the fact that he's able to do that with digital art is in there, paintings, watercolor, even just some pen and ink drawings are entered, and they all go really well together. But yeah, it's just great.
So this is like in part a marketing podcast, in part, I guess. And I always love to just spew like what my harebrained idea is, but and maybe I'll do this. So you're gonna tell me. I think like token sets would be awesome for games that are like, I don't know. You could do a ton with Magic, right? A ton with Yu-Gi-Oh. Even it doesn't have to be a MetaZoo or a Kickstarter, but the amount of art that y'all put out and the kind of junk that I see people use for tokens is hilarious. But I think that's
such
something
a
you
good
could do.
idea. I like that. My brother actually suggested that. He got into wood burning, so he's entered a couple of wood burning pieces into it. He has not won yet.
Oh,
But
sorry for your brother.
that's okay.
maybe
It's almost
maybe
like,
like next time.
but I've won more than my fair share, but like still when you don't make it and you see the ones that were chosen, you're like, okay, yeah, I get why those were chosen. So it's almost like like I don't know how to describe that. Like
Yeah, it's more
a good
competitive.
defeat.
If you feel like everybody got in or everybody got their homework on the fridge, then it wouldn't be special.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all high quality too. And also when the bar set that high every month, you're getting better. Everybody that's creating with you is getting better. And you can post your entry to where everyone can see it, or you can send it secretly. And if you send it secretly to the judges, it might turn up as a secret rare. And that's how we ended up with Poncho's card. And oh, I don't have it right next to me right now. But yeah, that's how we ended up with some pretty good ones. And then Cosmo also, I think he creates for Lost Wonderland TCG, but he has a couple of secret rares. I think maybe like 4 in the set coming up.
Ooh, I like it. I like a good secret rare.
Yeah.
Little chase.
Well, I guess technically they're not secret rare anymore, but when the pack was first open, they are. Now in this set, there's so many hollows, which I'm excited about. Because that's the only thing I thought was missing from the sets was the hollows. So
That makes sense.
I'll show you mine. I don't know if everybody can see me or not, but
Oh, that looks good.
and this was fairly done. So the way the hollows were chosen for what would be in the Kickstarter was what was going to make the art look better, because this is about the artwork. It's an appreciation and celebration about all the art, and that's the main focus. So I know a lot of people want it to be a game, or a purpose, but the purpose is to get to look at the art, get to pull cool art and talk about it. And then it's just nice. It's great.
So my interest to me has always been like for this particular TCG. Again, calling it TCG. I mean, it's a trading card, but the game part is the part that throws me off. But figuring out like how you market, how you sell it, because I reckon most people, you go to a convention, they see your cards, right? They ask you, what game is this? So what's the pitch like? Like, how do you describe Artist Appreciation Project?
So I describe it as artist trading cards. And we did have some people, we went to 2 conventions. I was able to go to the one in Houston at Trading TCG Con. And we actually couldn't afford to go to Collecticon. And that's one thing that this is helping us. It's Kickstarter is helping us to get to the next step, is to go to a bigger Collecticon and talk and meet more people. So we just say we're a group of artists who love art, who love to create art each month and support each other in the trading card community and kind of network. And that's the main thing, networking. So if your art's never out there, no one's ever going to discover you. So the fact that you can just see it, so let's say you open a set and you're really, really in love with the card. Well, you don't come to us. You're going to look at that artist's name and you're going to go look up on Instagram and go at that artist. And we do have a directory in our Discord that will show like who's taking commissions right now or who's not. So it's almost like a audition for anything they might want to do. They already have something professional. You can see what it's going to look like when it's all done. It would just be a quick transition for a job. And we do have many artists that have done a couple of games, like either they're employed right now or just commission a few cards in each game. And some of the indie TCG games that have said their last goodbye. We had a lot of those.
Yeah. I think I know a few.
Yeah. But our setup at the con, we have a huge, glorious banner. It's great. And then we have all of the artwork set out. So all of the prints that people coming to the booth can buy. And then the last time we were there, we gave away these free tote bags. Like if you make one purchase, you get a tote bag. That was a hit. Because the main idea was like you need something to carry your art in.
Yeah.
And that's something else different about us. We tried to be thinking about the people because there's no profit in this unless you get hired somewhere. Nobody's getting a paycheck from it. All the money goes straight back into the project to go on to the next thing that we're going to go do.
I wanted to focus on that bit of can you elaborate that on a little bit more? Like, it's when I go say mission based, this isn't some like stonks investor collector, hey, rip and ship kind of deal, is it? Or is it's more of like, hey, we're trying to build connections and community based? You talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, we're just a community based group. So I love getting the cards, even if it's not my card, I want to open them. So I have a membership. And so every month I'll get sent a set of cards that I can open. And the money
The subscription.
Yeah, subscription based.
The subscription.
Yeah. But it's paused right now because we're volunteer led. So all our volunteer hours are going into the Kickstarter. But come January, it'll go back into the card. So you get your cards and then your money goes into the bank that is posted on the Discord. So every person is seeing exactly where each dollar is going. Let's say when we went to Collecticon, our parking ticket, they weren't supposed to charge us for parking. It was $30. So that was paid for by the group and that was listed. That little $30 amount was listed in there like con fees, $30. So everything's accounted for. And I mean, you could go back into your own accounting and see it. The only thing not accounted for are the hours of the people putting in. And I invest my time, even though I'm a teacher, I'm a mother, I have 2 boys. I really believe in this and I really love it. And it's helped me grow as an artist. So before I was in this group, I didn't make very much art, even though I'm an art teacher. That's a huge thing. But no, I do. I have a reason to. I'm challenged to every month. And I can inspire others to also create.
That's awesome.
So I really love it. And I guess our main person, Grimswald, he lives in Japan. So the place where we're printing the cards, he can just, it's a quick, whatever way he gets there. I don't know if he drives or flies, however he does it, but probably fly. But he can go right over to the factory. He toured it, and he talked with the people himself, and so it's easier for shipping. So shipping's a little bit less than normal, but there's not going to be all the issues that people run into with shipping and taking forever to get out, because he's going to get everything in his hands, and then he'll send it, to us in the US, and then we'll get it out. So
If there's anything I know about this guy, and again, I haven't spoken with him much, but I was looking for something a while back, and I don't know, we had a conversation at some point, and everything that this dude works on is like extremely high quality, isn't it? Like, at least in my experience, it seems so well put together, most importantly thought of. There's only a few TCGs that I can think of that even have that approach. Like Sorcery is one of them. And what I mean when I say that, again, this is like tangentially a marketing podcast, but you look at the product. So maybe I'm kind of vain, but I can tell a lot about a brand by going to their website, or like the way they do graphic design and things like that. I'm a sucker. Like I'll go buy a beer just because the art looks cool. All right.
Yes.
But anyways, my point is, I think it does have that polish to it, which is something to note. I don't know. It means something to me.
And I think Ollie is a graphic designer. I want to say that's his job. He's a very private person, but he's very meticulous. He cares about the product he's putting out, and he cares about all of us. So he wants it to look good for us, because we put so much effort into our art.
Oh,
and it's
okay.
represented so nicely. But he puts the most time. He's gonna be embarrassed, but like, he's a good leader for it, because he sets a good example. So if anybody's struggling with anything, we can talk it out. We actually have a what do you call it? Like a page in the Discord where people can talk about any personal issues they're having in their life. And then, so people that don't really care about that, they just stay out of that channel, and people that just want to see the art gallery and see what people are working on can go to that channel. So kind of compartmentalizing it a little bit is also very meticulous and organized. So everything that we do is transparent, it's organized, it makes sense, and it's trustworthy, I feel like.
Trustworthy. Wow, that's a very important social currency these days.
That's a hot commodity.
A lot of us in the group have been hurt in the past, just not really even financially, but like emotionally and in relationships with people we've had over the internet. So it really does mean a lot that we can trust each other, because it's hard times out there.
Well, on that level, yes. But if you want to even dial in specifically to TCGs, a lot of people have been burned. So it's nice to at least hear kind of more of a positive spin on it. Like, oh yeah, this is again, it feels more of like a collective in that way, where it does seem like there's a general team interest in producing a great product, doing cool stuff. It's not it doesn't seem entirely top down, is what I'm getting at.
And it's sustainable. So I don't want to give too much away, but I mean, it's the creation of these sets is going to go into more marketing for collecticons, and then to get more people to create more art. So you can imagine that it could just keep going around in a circle. And then we have our our next year's prompts are almost ready to go. And so it's just, it can keep going. As long as people want to do it, then we can be around.
Wow, that's really cool.
I know you're into sorcery a lot, and it seems like a lot of the sorcery fans are mostly there for the art. I wouldn't say mostly, but like,
There's a lot of people that are there for the artwork.
yeah. I mean, what do you think is the balance for what draws people in? I mean, I think it's art that gets people to play games. Is there?
I think it's art is what keeps people playing the game, right? So you got to have a good game to play. But if I'm just playing with stick figures, or if I'm just playing with some generic sort of AI, originated artwork, you don't really. And I think I even wrote an article about this at some point, where you need recognizable, distinctive art, but you also need recognizable, distinctive characters within your card game. Otherwise, people don't grow those attachments to it. Like for instance, in sorcery, there is a series of cards that all have like a frog theme. They either turn things into frogs or they generate frogs.
People love frogs.
Just little tokens. People love frogs, but also there's a guy that is obsessed with those frogs. He's got all of this artist's sketch cards that he's ever produced. He was there at the last major sorcery event at SorceryCon, which we talked about last week on the podcast. The frog artist was there, and you better believe Frog Guy was also there, dressed in a frog costume, just fawning over the frog artist. And it's cool. You need people like that in a game, right?
Now, guess what? I'm going to interrupt you before you move on. Guess what set we have?
Is it frogs?
The frogs.
Yeah, magical frogs.
It's frogs.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's I can't pronounce it, but it's like Salentia Magica. So every year there's going to be some animal themed. They're great.
I love animals. If you do a raccoon set, please. I'll be watching for it, but that's my spirit animal is the raccoon. Okay. Yeah, I got it.
You already sold me on that monthly subscription just to get a pack of cards to open and appreciate that artwork every month. That's amazing. I really think that I know it's not about the money, and I know it's not about like the monetization, more so an appreciation of the artists, doing the artwork. But man, if some of those prompts throughout the year was the prompt, but also they were magic tokens, or they were sorcery tokens, or flesh and blood tokens. Every game's got tokens. Every game needs tokens. And just being able to incorporate those two would be amazing. Purely from I get to double dip. I get to appreciate the artwork, but I also get to appreciate the artwork because I'm playing with it every time I play that card game. And then other people see, whoa, where'd you get those tokens? Yo, it's AAP. Check it out. They do a monthly subscription. This is where you get them. I think that would be so cool. I'm already a fan. I'm already going to subscribe, but being able to then monetize that further, again, I know it's not about that, but being able to push that even further and, get that in front of more people, because that's what it's about, right? Getting eyes on you guys as artists in order to build your brand as an artist and open those opportunities. I think that'd be great.
I love having your perspective as mostly a game player, because that's the only thing that we don't have a lot of. We have some collectors, but we don't have a lot of game players and their perspective. So I'm glad that you said that.
Oh, and believe me, I'm always looking on Etsy and eBay. The first thing I do whenever I get into like a new competitive card game that utilizes tokens is I'm going to Etsy and I'm typing in Magic the Gathering custom token just to see what people are like putting out there, or sorcery tokens, custom tokens, flesh and blood custom tokens, stuff like that, because I really, really like that. I'm a big art appreciator. And the fact that I can show off something that, most people probably don't have, and then have them say, whoa, where'd you get that? Better than using like a Pokemon card as my token. Who cares about that? I want a custom piece of artwork, even if it's like mass produced. I mean, the hand drawn stuff, the one of a kind stuff, the limited run stuff, that's a chef's
Yeah.
kiss.
Oh yeah.
But even mass produced stuff, just having that custom artwork that's also something I can utilize in a game just means so much more. Like, and I do that so often, and I'm often very disappointed at the lack of custom art options for tokens. Like, there's all sorts of, put your own artwork, put your own your clip art on this token on our little template. I don't want that. I want someone
It's not the
to
same.
draw me a 1/1 frog token that I can use in my commander game. And I want
Yeah.
it to be custom. I want to be able to bust it out and be like, look at this. And they're like, whoa, where's that? Here's the artist. There's their
Well,
name.
you don't
Here's
even
where you
need
can
the
find them.
numbers on it. That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. You don't even need
It's just
you don't
like
even need the numbers.
my favorite token, like one of my favorite cards in MetaZoo was a token that I think his name was Daniel. Remember, he was a local. He did the like stained glass tokens and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just love that. And he just showed up. He's like, hey, here's some tokens. And the you know how I know him is because that card has his name on it.
Yeah.
As, like illustrated by, like in the corner. And then every time I look at that card, every time I play that card, I'm like, oh, I got this from so and so, and I don't know, it just makes that kind of connection too, which I think is really cool. And it's not art that's done in the style of MetaZoo, it's his own style. Like, again, I think that just makes it kind of cool and memorable. But I mean, that's not to say you couldn't use the current AAP cards as tokens as well.
Of course.
But from a sheer marketing standpoint, you're just like, oh, this is the token set. People will be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get the Chase Scapegoat Yu-Gi-Oh token or whatever silly thing.
Gosh.
Yeah, could you imagine?
I mean, that it does sound promising. We do have like an Angels and Demons.
Oh, okay.
Theme we had.
Man, if Poncho gets an Angels and Demons, I mean, there.
I just want you to. I want you to start opening the cards, and I want you to record it, please. And I want to see what you think. I'm not going to tell you what other cards are in there.
So I don't know. Should I do it? Should I do it now, or the plan was to do a separate video that was just
separate video?
Okay.
Separate.
Don't do it here.
Where you can have full a full layout.
Yeah, because I have the top-down camera for it and everything. And my issue, we did a podcast with another TCG not long ago, and after it gets a certain length, people really watch the beginning, and then maybe they kind of jump to the end or whatever. But to do an opening in the middle of the video would not be really good.
I hope not. I was rambling pretty hard earlier.
No, you're good. You're
I'm
good.
like, I'm public speaking. Even though if I'm talking one-on-one, when we went to the con, I was just talking to people and just telling them what I love. It's like so easy, but when I get in front of a crowd or imagine a crowd, then that's when I get nervous.
No, I mean, this audience that listens to us has already heard it all at this point. They have to listen to my rambling. You're good. No, I think this is a really cool, again, unique proposition. Like, in my opinion, there's so many TCGs that want to put out a product that is the same, or like, what makes your unique game? MetaZoo, for better or worse, we always talk about MetaZoo in some roundabout way, but they had the fourth walls, which I thought was what made them kind of have that draw, right? I'm wearing a red shirt, so I can do something silly. It's really hard to find a game nowadays that has its own unique spin. Sorcery is another one of them. Theirs is particularly like they had the grid style format, but whatever your product is, whatever you're putting out there, what are you doing that's making it different? And I would be a little nervous if I was a company or brand that wasn't doing anything different, especially now when there's just so much competition out there. So I saw this and I was like, okay, well.
And I think ours, it's not so much different as it is almost like familiar, because if you like art or even see any piece of art over history that you like, as soon as you see it and you develop an opinion on it, it's almost like it's yours. So like as soon as you make something now, like I'm sharing it with the world, I'm opening myself up to that. So I was listening to what y'all were saying about your token cards and remembering the person. But now when you tell someone about the card and show them, now that person's going to remember you. So it's like an effect. So you're always going to be connected. And so many people in the TCG world are already connected. And
Yeah.
like, you meet somebody in real life, you're like, are you that person? You're like, yeah. But
My gamer
it's
tag.
special. Yeah.
You're the guy with those frog tokens, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, it's cool. Like it's all about creating an experience. I think everybody's looking for an experience. I like what you said about, this is a classic thing in art or just things in general that get made where once you put it out, you might have an idea of what you want your project to be, what you want your thing to be. But as soon as it goes into the public's consumption, the public's hands, it's really out of your control. It's up to the people as far as what they want that to be. And I'll even circle back to MetaZoo because that's a through line. But I still stand by this. MetaZoo was never really meant to be that competitive game to the list. There might have been claims that it was always supposed to be like a competitive game, but I think the community really drove them to host these tournaments and do all these things. And again, what I'm getting at is they may have started in one place, but when your fans and your community are vocal and passionate enough, they'll kind of push you in the direction where they, really want to see things. Now it's what you want to do, whether you listen to them or not, that's up to you. But I think that's just the classic case of like making art or doing anything creative and putting it out there and people being like, nah, that purple dress is actually blue. That's an old reference right there. That's really dated. You all know what I'm talking about with that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
That still comes up.
All right,
Not
cool.
too dated.
Okay.
But I was thinking like, okay, like, the reason artists are in the history books are because they changed the scene. They did something new. Like Vincent van Gogh, he didn't really sell any artwork until after he was already dead. He had all his issues in his life. Kind of a sad story, but
yeah, I heard he had a hearing problem.
Halfway.
Exactly.
he was plagued with so many issues of insecurities and not feeling accepted. And this is so far back in the past, and we still have the same issues today. So maybe if he had social media, people use it as a negative, but like if he had a connection and was able to branch out, maybe, he would have lived longer.
Dang, what would his gamer tag be? What would his Discord handle be?
I don't know. Blue
Starry Night 420.
Blue Star 420, definitely. Yeah.
No, it's got to be Absinthe Sipper 60.
Yeah, there you go. Oh my goodness.
Dude,
I love
cracking 90s in Fortnite.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh man.
This is the content people come here for. All right, well that's cool. So what's your next convention? Where are people going to find you guys? Do you have anything planned, or is it you guys waiting out this Kickstarter storm?
I think we're going to wait because you never know with Kickstarter, because people really want to be a part of something, and then when it comes down to it, they just can't do it. So maybe they just at the last minute are like, no, I can't really do that this month. But then we only have the month. So we'll wait and see. But I would hopefully want it to be a Collecticon near me. I'm in Texas, near Dallas. So that would be fun.
Yeah, that's almost a given. I feel like the best Collecticons are in Texas. I don't have any like actual data on that.
No bias or anything.
Yeah.
They live in Dallas like us, so.
Yeah.
Is we have the best people. It's like 50-50, 70-40, something like that.
Yeah. We show up. We'll show up. If it's here, we'll show up.
We'll show up.
Yeah.
We'll show up to pay your $20 parking. Don't you worry.
Kansas City Collecticon, the Kansas City folks, they don't show up like Texas people.
No,
but we also have a lot of people over on the other side, like over around New York. So I don't know.
New York City.
I would like to get two sides of the U.S. and we even have people in other countries. Like that's the thing.
We could do two sides of the U.S. We could do Fort Worth and Dallas.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Funny. No, I liked the Fort Worth Collecticon was really cool, but I will say the Dallas one this past year, there was no art. There weren't that many artists there. I just went for myself, but I didn't see that much. So
It's tough.
we need
because-
to be there. We need to.
well,
do.
you guys bring balance to the force, okay? Because without you guys, the TCG world is really it's dominated by rip and shippers, flippers, like, and okay, dominated is maybe too strong of a word, but that's definitely a prevailing force out there. Or disagree with me if you think so, but I'm just saying, as
don't
somebody
know.
who
I
like,
think it's fun. I mean, it's fun to do a. I mean, I did one once, like to do a whatnot, and then people, are betting on it, and they want to open it, and then
yeah,
it's almost like gambling in a way.
it-
Like you're
Oh,
with
it
your
is
whole
100%.
life,
Yes,
your whole paycheck, you're gonna.
that is
Oh,
correct.
golly, it's too much. Too much for me.
Yeah, you're right. It can be fun. I've participated in some whatnots. I think most people in this industry have, but it's also like, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out the connection there, just because that I feel like so much of that culture's been spun up, and then you see it at like the collecticons, and you hear like the "Let's go," and I'm like, what are we let's going about?
What are we excited about? What happened?
And for me, like, I'm just a bit of a luddite. I somehow like Kurt said, I'm a board game player who happens to play TCGs. So like, Catan is my kind of game. So when I went to some of these events and these collecticons, I'm like, what are we all shouting about? And I've never quite aligned with the ripping culture, the opening stuff. Like, I like getting the sealed set with all the stuff in there that I like, oh, I bought this, so I got this. I don't like gambling. Maybe that's it. I don't like gambling.
Yeah.
Need to go
I
to the
mean, you would
casino more.
like you would like our booth. We're kind of like the pause. Like you're going through all these things, it's all high tech, and then it's like, oh, you can breathe. You're just looking at like this beautiful art, and then you can like just learn about all the artists and what they're up to. And then last time I really wanted it, like a spinning wheel with prizes. Like you don't have to buy anything. It's like you could just spin it and get a prize. So it had like stickers, like little
I'll spin the wheel.
sketchbooks,
I'll spin the wheel.
I'll
anything
spin
to
the
throw
wheel.
in. And then I also had set up, not many people did it. They didn't want to like sit, but once I put a chair there, people wanted to sit down, but we're making art with me. So that was
Whoa.
fun. I like that. There's like a little kid that did it too. That was really fun.
That is super cool.
And just getting to meet everybody, meet all the people. It's fun.
Do you guys ever get, I mean, you kind of mentioned this already, but I'm going to ask the same question again. Do you guys ever get contacted by companies? Like, does AAP ever get companies come to them saying, hey, we need talent for our cards to be drawn?
No, it's mostly just like we're not big enough like for a big company to even know about us.
You're not big enough yet.
That's the thing. Like you can't do anything in this world without networking. And our way to network, since nobody's making a salary, like where's the money going to come from to go to Collecticon? And so that would be through the Kickstarter. That's the whole reason for the Kickstarter, so that we can go out and do stuff.
Because how do I phrase this too? Because like this is my own brain putting things together that don't really exist, but they kind of do. Like AAP in some ways is sort of like a collective. Collectives are kind of like agencies. If I was a game creator, I'd be like, well, I need really great art. Why don't I go to a agency that has great artists that works and does cards, and then go to you guys? You already have vetted artists. Like, all right, I need 8 of your artists, and then you look through their portfolio, which is actual things that have been put on cards, and then, hey, how, the check goes out to AAP. Again, it's like ad agency structure. And
yeah, I see what you're saying. I would be hesitant for like an agency style, because in that there's so much of
too much
responsibility
bureaucracy
in that, and bureaucracy in that. So
I got you. Yeah, and then it takes the fun
like,
out a little bit too.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how you guys can make the most money to do whatever.
The cool
just
stuff.
buy the card.
Yeah.
Just buy the card. It's a win for the whole community.
The subscription's great. I love I'm team subscription. I've been I've been shouting that for a while now.
And we did do the Patreon, but then we saw how many fees were coming out of the Patreon. So now it's just straight through the website. And so, and also, every month there's not every month, but like most of the months there's something extra thrown in, like a promo card. So for instance, one month we got too many people in the Discord, so then the bots started coming in. It was crazy. We were like, I'm so sorry everybody for these bots. And then one of our users actually had to get a new account, and it was crazy. But then we had a mini challenge. It was like a 2-week challenge. It wasn't part of our Draw Monthly challenge. It was like a quick one. Like, show us what it looks like to you for the bot invasion. And so we have a promo card was sent out to all the memberships of that. Oh, it's so great, of the bot invasion card. And I think only like 5 or 6 people entered it that month because they were working on the regular Draw Monthly challenge. And then some people had extra time. Some people are really fast. Like whenever Habilis gets in there, I know he has his big job. He does a lot of work. But whenever he gets back in and visits us again, he'll just pump out like 2 or 3 artworks. So that's fun too. People just pop in and out. Like you won't see someone for like 3 months, 6 months, and they'll come in and put in amazing artwork.
Wow.
Great.
That's cool. That's cool that you guys have sort of fostered even that community, right? Where it's open like that, where it's completely non-committal. It's not like you have to do any of this stuff, and people have that freedom. You know, life happens. Everybody gets busy, and maybe you miss a couple of months, or, you know, maybe something picked up and you miss 8 months, you miss 10 months, but then you show up for that 11th month and you're like, they're like, whoa, they're back. They put in a submission. We've missed you. That's very cool. I love that community that is there with that. That's really cool.
Do you announce which artists are gonna be in the set before the set comes out?
It's announced. Yeah, it's announced to the winners in like a private winner group. Well, actually, no, we changed it. So we used to, it took too long because then they had to sign the permission form that we could print the art. So now when you do your submission, you say, yes, you have permission to print it. And the artists retain all their rights. So like AEP doesn't own the art. We just have permission to print the art. And like we can make prints to sell at Collecticon. The money goes right back into the thing. Rad. But if the artist, like I went to Collecticon and some people wanted me to sign the card, and I was like, yeah, just, you know, a donation for the signature. And then so like that was mine. But then if any artists are welcome, anybody in the group, you know, they're part of the collective. So yeah, just come along and sell your
wares.
Commission. I mean, it would be kind of crazy. I was thinking about that. Like, it would be too crazy to have like everybody's stuff, but I think like a small.
I think it's cool if you don't disclose the artist before the set comes out, because for me, I love a lot. I'm just gonna use Poncho as an example, but like, oh, you're opening a pack and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, Poncho's. You're just say you're a huge Poncho fan. Poncho's in this set. Oh my god, what? This is amazing. You know, yeah. I think that could be kind of exciting too. Like I see how people could get like that. And again, it's not just Poncho, but it could be whoever your dude is. But
your champion, if you will, your artist champion, if you will.
Well, I mean, some of these folks have like an actual, I wouldn't say like cult following, but like there's legitimate fans. I mean, Seb's another one too, right? I'm just listing off former MetaZoo alumni, but
yeah, he hasn't entered any contest yet.
Okay, well,
I think there's like.
Yeah, maybe not Seb, but I'm just listing folks that when MetaZoo existed, they would find somebody, you know, the artist, and they say, oh, I collect this artist card. That or Pokemon's another example. Like, oh, I really like was it Koima? Yeah. And they collect all that artist cards. Or I'm sure you saw that at Sorcery Con too. Probably just a binder full of some specific artist card.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Sorcery has the benefit that most of their artists are very old Magic the Gathering artists as well. So people, I think there was an artist there that was like, yeah, this guy came and had me sign like 50 of this Magic card.
Wow.
And they were happy to do it because it's their artwork, and you know, they're not, just because they draw for Sorcery and do art for them doesn't take away from their artwork in the past. You know, they are proud of their Magic origins and stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, got me sign like 50 black obelisk or something. And I was like, wow, that's a lot.
Sell it on eBay the next day or something.
Well, you know, where they go after the ink is on the card, that's, you know, that's a different story. But yeah,
It wouldn't surprise me if that person actually just kept all of them, though.
Oh,
like,
100%.
There are
I
some
bet.
legitimate people. Like it depends the game, depends the fandom. If it's Pokemon, I 100% be like, oh, that just make it out to eBay, please. But knowing sorcery people, like I know sorcery people, they're just that big of fans of the art that they're just like, no, this is mine forever.
But I feel like Pokemon is marketed as like a company, and sorcery is kind of more of like community. Would you say?
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
And their art style is kind of like more classical, like old, like fantasy novel artwork. And I feel like I'm talking about myself again, but I feel like the AAP brings that element back too. So it kind of
well, there's something for everybody based on what I've seen that y'all do. It's eclectic.
And it's original characters. So I should say that it started as fan art because that's how we all got together. And then I know Back Alley Mages. They're a lost indie TCG, I guess now.
Yeah.
But
now
I love that game. I have to roll that dice off. But anyway, we teamed up with them and they gave prizes out to the winners. And so the theme was each of their elements, but it was like their own character using their elements.
That's really cool.
That's awesome.
And we want to do one of those a year, like team up with a new indie TCG that's also kind of small time and kind of help promote them. But we have to do it in a way where it's like, you know, it's good for our artists too.
Yeah.
So maybe a little strict on that, but
even if it's a dead TCG, I'm gonna throw this out there. This is something that a lot of people don't realize. I mean, you're pretty. If you know this much about cards, then you're on a different plane, maybe. But there are fans that actually still play and love and adore hundreds of dead card games that exist out there. I mean, some of the fandoms are like hundreds of people deep. I mean, I guess Vanguard isn't dead even, but like even some of these really small games, you could get away with doing something like that.
Do y'all know what Psychedelica was?
No, that sounds crazy.
It sounds cool.
Oh my gosh, it was so fun. Like the gameplay was so fun. And that's when I was gonna make art for it, but he was like, don't make it because like they couldn't afford it because it's hard unless you do, you know, like the buy ahead thing, which is so crazy, but it's just so hard to get ahead.
Yeah, I don't know how those negotiations actually pan out, but you know,
but it's fun. It's
people are dying.
Game.
Yeah, again, that's the sad thing. When these TCGs die, you lose that community, you lose the game you love a little bit, and you're like, oh, I'll take anything just to get me back in it. If it's
I think that's how a lot of people are feeling about Metazoo right now.
Yeah.
I like that though. I wonder if we did a poll, like, what would you like to see? You know, like what people might say. That's good. Y'all are the idea people over here.
Oh, we've got a lot of them, and some of them are garbage or bogus. But
my thing is like, just say any idea. Like, just say it. But like, because if you say it, like, you'll know if it's a bad idea right away. Like, oh, never mind, that's a bad idea. But
I won't speak on myself, but I'll talk up Kurt. Kurt's a great litmus for like your generic TCG player. If you pitch something by him, he's like, oh yeah, I'd like that. That would apply to like a lot of these guys. So I don't know. It's always good to have a sounding board. I think as good as communities are sometimes, this has nothing to do with AAP, but as good as communities are, as somebody who's in several like Discord communities, sometimes it helps to get outside those communities and be like, oh wait, here's what they're doing over here. That's kind of a good idea. What if we did something like this? I don't know. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not like you're ripping off anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
but so I don't forget, like going back, like all of our characters are original, and I just wanted to touch on there are some characters that you will see recurring in the cards. So, for instance, Cosmo has he's nicknamed Sir Frogman. So when you start getting some of the older sets, you're opening them up, you might see that frog again that he entered into a different category or a different draw monthly challenge. So there are some
Oh.
recurring. And then actually one of our people, he created a whole world. So it's crud monsters. And so that was one of our months, was all we created his creatures from his world, but in our own style. And he got to be the judge and help pick who was going to win.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to maybe doing that every year and just kind of like it's repeating but different every year, so people kind of can look forward to it and then get a new spin.
Mhm.
I love it.
I mean, and recognizable characters like that, like reoccurring characters, are what people look for. You know,
Yeah.
them popping up, even if it's in a new way, like a new art style or someone else doing it. They're like, hey, I know that guy. I know that
Yeah.
fella. I know that
And
fella from that card.
the art's recognizable. Like we
Yeah.
had some more street art style, like I already mentioned Cisco. We have like G Baby. He does more street art style. So, and then some people do, there's some real like almost high fantasy style or real high profile style. And then there's more of like simple, I say simple, but not that it's lesser, but like the simplified outline
Mhm.
and filled in. And then you can cut some people, you can see who they were inspired by. It's great. Like I like to kind of break down the art when I'm looking at it. And so my unboxing videos are usually like just like pretty long. I'm just talking about the art.
Speaking of your unboxing videos, where can people find any of your content? Do you have a website? You can plug yourself, as you know. We'll plug AAP as well. But is there anything you want to share with some of the viewers?
Yeah, you can go to just Arts Hannah on Instagram. So I have, you just scroll back, you'll see what I was interested in at the time. Right now it's like all Kickstarter stuff. But going back, I have like a couple mail day videos of just different games I was in. You'll see Psychedelica in there if
I'm
you're
gonna pick it
interested.
up. Yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
Oh, it was purple. Oh, it's great. But just anything that people sent me, I like to open it, and then a lot of like fan art too back in the day from Edizu. I did like this whole big play mat. It was great. It was like hundreds of characters. It was so fun.
Whoa.
I think I know
But-
that one. Did you make it for? Was that commissioned, or did you just make it for yourself?
It was supposed to be for somebody that was supposed to have a release event, but that didn't pan out. It was like that thing.
Okay,
I don't want
okay.
to get into all that, but
No, you don't need to
I
do that.
ended up just making copies and letting, selling some out there. So I guess some are still alive in the world, and some prints. They're limited editions prints.
So we've
but
got 58 hours to go on the. I'm sorry, I just cut you off.
No, you go ahead.
I'm saying we have 58 hours left to go on the Artist Appreciation Project. Y'all have met your goal. Now, that doesn't mean for those listening to stop, contributing. But now that you've met your goal, what do you think is the next big hurdle for AAP?
I think it's going to be people really sticking with it after the last hour. Like if you decided that you're supporting and you pledged to, I think if people are able to and they put their trust in us and uphold that, I think we will not let anyone down. I think everybody will be delighted, and there's special surprises. There might be some one-of-ones or sketch cards and things mixed into the boxes.
Hey, hold
on. Whatever the artists are willing to give, it's going to be in there. And we already were able to upgrade to a blister pack because we had so much support.
Ooh.
And then I guess I would like us to be able to go to 2 collecticons with this. Like if we could seriously like on 2 coasts, if we could pull that off, that's
Mhm.
that's the ultimate. I guess that's the hurdle, like being able to go to 2 places.
So what's the ultimate release schedule for y'all? Would you be doing more of these kind of sets similar to like the Kickstarter, or would you do more of the monthly subscription stuff, or is it a mix? Is it both?
I think both. So in January, when there are rewards for people to get, which would be the set, and the memberships start back up again, and then so that's the idea, is like maybe everything goes according to plan. Those 12 sets could be a second of what we have now. That's
Okay.
my personal goal anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I also just think if people keep creating, then that's really what we're about. Like if people are creating, we're inspiring people, inspiring positivity in the community, just uplifting others. I think that's all we need.
I love that. Yeah.
It's perfect.
Sorry, I'm looking at y'all's Kickstarter. Y'all did a great job with laying this out too. I mean,
this is all Grimswald, and some of I think it was Orion made the original. What would you call that? Like the mascot, which is like a Grimswald character, which is like the skull, almost like the Grim Reaper. And he has like a crown, and he's frequented throughout. And that's actually Poncho's card Lost Love has that character in it, so it's so cool. But
very cool.
There's just so much. And then I don't know, if y'all just go look at the page, it kind of speaks for itself. There are some images from a couple of collecticons, and then all the artist names are in there. And if you see anybody you like, just hit up their Instagram.
That's cool.
Mostly everybody. Some people are already busy, but mostly everybody is accepting commissions right now.
Perfect.
Very cool.
All right. Well, here's the part where you plug AAP's properties. Where can we find y'all? Where can we engage with y'all? Where's all the most awesome stuff happening?
I think the most awesome stuff is going to be in the Discord. So, I mean, there's no harm in joining the Discord, seeing what it's all about. You do, to get past the block, you do have to kind of interact for a few comments, and then you get to see all of the channels and just kind of ease yourself in. Post some art. If you post art, there's even like a trading channel in there if you want to trade with people. Because there are some cards that won't be printed again. Like we call them our folklore series. So our red border cards, never to be seen again. But also the Kickstarter page, the Artist Appreciation Project, from canvas to card. You can see everything you want to know in a more concise way than the way that I said it. It's all nicely laid out. And then it also has that transparency part at the bottom. It talks about our initiatives, about celebrating the artists and creativity. And then there's lots of FAQs in there, what you might ask. Let me look at this. Let's see. It talks about the cards are manufactured in mainland China, produced locally and shipped worldwide. Lots of quality control. And yeah.
Super.
That's all I have to say about that.
That's all right. You're going to send me some of those links too, hopefully, and then I'll drop them out down in the description.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Kurt will remind me to do that.
I don't mean to brag, but during this pod, I became the 50th backer of the Kickstarter. So, sorry guys, it's all over. I am the 50th. I get special crime, special crown.
The 50th.
I am the 50th. Sorry.
Oh man,
good stuff. Great stuff.
Why'd you got to take 50? Come on.
Sorry, man.
I mean, it keeps fluctuating. I'm telling you.
51's cool, I guess.
After this podcast, though, it's definitely going to be like an inappropriate number between 68 and 70. I'm just kidding.
I like your confidence. I choose you. Okay.
All right, y'all. Well, hey, thank you so much, Hannah, for hopping on the podcast today, sharing the story of Artist Appreciation Project. Kurt, I guess thank you for showing up too, I guess. Yeah.
As always.
Thank you for backing.
Yes. No,
Yes.
thank you so much. You guys are so nice. Y'all definitely helped me warm up pretty quickly. And yeah, y'all are fun to talk to.
Yeah, this was easy.
I would come on to talk about anything anytime. I might invite y'all. Like, I just like to live stream and make art. At the same time.
Okay.
Or I'd like to. I've only done it a couple of times.
If you could put
My
up with
goal.
our like, I wouldn't call it like trash talking. We say pretty silly stuff is what
We
I'm
say
trying to say.
we'll go with antics.
Okay,
I will
antics.
laugh.
There you go. Yeah, not trash talking.
I will
Antics.
laugh.
Yeah.
I'll occasionally shake my head and shame on you, but no, I'll laugh at it.
Yeah, art teacher
And
style.
I do better making art when other people are around. That's why I like the AAP, because we even have a hangout room, so we'll all just get on and be doing art at the same time, giving each other advice. It's great. It's fun.
I love it.
Awesome.
Y'all should come. I'll give you a lesson.
A lesson.
If you
Oh,
come
man.
in. Yeah.
I love that.
Yes.
My medium's photography, so I mean, you know.
I'm more of a traditional, paint on canvas while sipping red wine. So
Oh, I didn't know you got it like that.
I'm sorry. I assumed because of y'all's faces, you looked alarmed about drawing, that maybe you weren't an artist. But are y'all artists?
Oh no, not at all.
No.
But can you could you pass? Like, could you?
Oh no, not at all.
Okay.
Don't they say
tell
that
me
like
that.
your artistic ability stops whenever you stop doing art in your life as you grow up? Isn't that how that works?
I've been in art shows, but for photography, not for
So, but you have the eye. If you do photography, then you've trained your eye to see.
Yeah. I've been in some art galleries. You can find me online. I got it. I got it like that. Yeah.
Plug yourself in. Drop your links to your gallery.
No. This isn't about me. This is about you. This is about Artist Appreciation Project.
And all artists celebrating all art.
That's right. All right, listeners. Thank you for stacking the deck with us. We'll probably see you next week, hopefully. If not, until then.
Definitely.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Catch you guys later.